Welcome back to Sam's Safe Space, where it's a safe space to be you. Today we're diving into an emotion we've all felt, but most of us struggle with: anger. It's the feeling we try to hide, deny, or push away. Maybe you were raised to think that anger was dangerous. Maybe you've been on the receiving end of explosive rage, so you associate it with fear. Or maybe you felt ashamed for having anger at all, like it makes you a bad person. But here's the truth. Anger is neither good nor bad. It's simply a signal, a messenger. And how we handle that messenger determines whether anger becomes a tool for healing or a weapon for harm. In this episode, I'm going to share my own journey with anger, how it almost cost me my sobriety, and how shame kept me trapped, and how I learned to reframe and release anger in ways that actually set me free. Segment 1, understanding anger. Anger is one of the most understood emotions. Anger at its core is your body's way of saying something feels unfair. A boundary has been crossed. I'm in pain and I need protection. Think of anger as your nervous system's red alert. When something threatens your dignity or safety, anger rises up to give you the strength to push back. I'll be honest, I've been there myself. I was in a situation where I was being verbally and psychologically abused and attacked. I told this person, stop doing that. Stop saying those awful things. I tried to set a boundary, but they didn't stop. Each time that they crossed that line, it chipped away at me, and the anger inside me grew stronger and stronger. But instead of letting myself feel it and express it, I imploded. I stuffed it down until it started eating away at me. I remember feeling so triggered, so unheard, so angry that I almost lost my sobriety because of it. I wanted to numb it, to escape the fire that was burning inside me. And that's the danger of unprocessed anger. When we implode it, when we don't give it a safe outlet, it turns inward. It threatens our peace, our health, and even the things that we've fought hardest for, like my sobriety. That's when I learned anger itself isn't the problem. The problem is what we do with it. Segment 2, anger and shame. Here's where shame creeps in. Shame says, you're wrong for feeling this way. A lot of us were taught growing up, stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Or even, why are you so sensitive? Or good kids don't get mad. So we learned to swallow our anger and put on a mask. We smiled even when our insides were screaming. That's exactly what happened to me. During the time I was being verbally and psychologically abused, every attack made me feel small, weak, and silenced. I was told things that cut into me deeply, and every time I tried to stand up and say, stop, I don't deserve this, I was met with more cruelty. Eventually, I stopped expressing my anger at all. I buried it because somewhere deep down I thought, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I shouldn't feel this way. But here's the thing. Buried anger does not disappear. It leaks out. For me, it showed up as resentment, as wanting to numb, as depression, as self-blame. It sat heavy in my chest and threatened my sobriety. And that's what shame does. It cuts us off from the message anger is trying to give us, instead of asking, what is this anger trying to tell me? Shame convinces us I'm wrong for even feeling this. Healing started for me when I realized anger wasn't proof that I was broken. It was proof that I still had a voice, even if I had been silenced for years. Segment 3, healthy versus unhealthy anger. So how do we tell the difference between healthy anger and unhealthy anger? At its root, anger is about boundaries and unmet needs. The difference lies in whether we express it with clarity or suppress it until it explodes. Healthy anger is direct, calm, and rooted in self-respect. It protects without punishing. Some examples are: someone disrespects you and you calmly say, "I don't appreciate being spoken to like that, please stop." Or you feel overworked, so instead of staying silent, you tell your boss, "I need to talk about my workload. It's too much for one person and I can't keep up at this pace." In a relationship, your partner does something hurtful and you say, "When that happens, I feel dismissed. I need to know my feelings matter to you." Healthy anger is like a fire in a fireplace. It provides warmth, light, and protection when contained. Unhealthy anger either lashes out or gets swallowed until it turns inward. Some examples are: you're upset with your partner, but instead of speaking up, you slam doors, yell, or use cutting words you regret. Or your boss overwhelms you with work, so you go home and numb with alcohol, food, or distractions instead of addressing it. Or you're hurt by a friend, but instead of being honest, you make passive-aggressive comments or give the silent treatment. Also, you keep suppressing anger until it builds into resentment, and then one small trigger can cause a massive explosion. Unhealthy anger is like fire spreading across the floor: destructive, unsafe, and unpredictable. The inner child connection. Here's the deeper truth. How we deal with anger now often reflects what we were allowed or not allowed to feel as kids. A child who was told, "Stop crying," or "I'll give you something to cry about," may grow up into an adult who bottles up anger until it explodes, because deep down they believe expressing emotions will lead to punishment. Or a child who felt invisible or dismissed may grow into an adult who uses passive-aggressive behaviors because they never learned how to have their voice heard directly. Or even a child who only saw anger expressed as yelling, hitting, or silence may grow into an adult who believes anger equals danger, so they avoid it at all costs, even if it means abandoning themselves. Healthy anger as an adult often means reparenting yourself, giving yourself the permission to feel what you weren't allowed to feel as a child, and expressing it in a safe, respectful way. I've lived both sides. I bottled anger until it ate at me alive and came out sideways, hurting me more than anyone else. And I've also stood in healthy anger, saying, "No more, I'm not going to tolerate this treatment." One version destroyed my peace, the other version protected it. Segment 4, processing anger without shame. This is where the healing begins. Anger is energy, and energy needs to move. For me, when I was in the thick of being verbally and psychologically abused, I didn't know what to do with my anger. It was like carrying a fire that had no safe place to burn. I bottled it up until it turned inward, and it nearly cost me my sobriety. What started to change things for me was learning safe ways to release it. One of the first tools I tried was journaling. I remember sitting down and writing letters I knew I'd never send. I poured out every word I wanted to scream, every insult I wanted to throw back, every truth I had to swallow. And when I was done, I tore those pages up. It was messy, it was raw, but it was freeing. Movement helped too. There were times I had so much rage stuck in my body that I'd go to the gym and push myself until I felt that heaviness finally lift. I'd scream into a pillow until my throat hurt, but afterward I could breathe again. Also, breathwork. Something as simple as a double inhale followed by a long, slow exhale helped me calm my nervous system enough to keep from relapsing into old coping mechanisms. It gave me a way to say, "I'm safe right now. This anger doesn't have to destroy me." Here are some practices I recommend, the same ones that helped me. Name it. Say it out loud. I feel angry right now. Move it. Through your body, shake, stomp, run, or scream into a pillow. Breathe through it. Double inhale, slow exhale. Journal it out. Write the letter you'll never send, then rip it up or burn it. Check in with your inner child. Ask, who inside me feels angry right now? What do they need to hear? Also, channel it into action. Use it to set a boundary, say no, walk away, or stand up for what matters. These tools didn't erase the anger, but they gave me a way to honor it without destroying me. Segment 5, reframing anger. For so long, I saw my anger as proof that I was broken. I thought if I was really healing, if I was really strong, I wouldn't feel this way. That belief kept me stuck in shame. But everything shifted when I began to reframe anger. Instead of seeing it as something dangerous, I started asking, what is this anger showing me? When I was being abused, I used to think that my anger made me the problem. That maybe I deserved it, or maybe I was just too sensitive. But once I began reframing it, I realized something powerful. My anger wasn't against me, it was for me. It was my inner child crying out, please protect me. Please don't let them treat me like this. Please don't leave me unprotected again. That changed everything. My anger wasn't shameful. It was sacred. It was the little version of me asking the adult version to finally step up and keep her safe. Here's the shift I want you to take with you. Instead of, I'm bad for being angry, try, my anger is my inner child asking me to listen. Instead of, if I express my anger, people will leave me, try, expressing my anger calmly teaches others how to love me safely. Instead of, anger is dangerous, try, anger is sacred information, it's my protector. The moment I began to see my anger this way, it stopped controlling me. It became my compass. It pointed me towards boundaries I needed, the self-respect I deserved, and the love my inner child had been craving all along. Closing reflection. So here's the truth. Anger is not your enemy. It's the messenger that says, pay attention. Something matters here. When you honor it, anger becomes your ally, a protector and a guide. When you shame it, it controls you. So the next time that fire rises, pause, breathe, ask yourself, what boundary is this pointing me toward? What part of me is asking to be seen? How can I honor this without harming myself or others? That's how we turn anger into wisdom. Thank you for being here with me today. If this episode touched you, share it with someone who's learning to see anger in a new light, because anger doesn't make you broken, it makes you human. Until next time, remember, it's a safe space to be you.